Comic Book Savant, Comic Sense. Welcome back to the Comic Book Savant podcast. I'm your host, James Harris. This is a Comic Sense episode first read. If you're unfamiliar with this episode type, it's where I read an issue of any particular comic book. It could be a first issue or just my first exposure to the book. I'll read the one issue, and based on my thoughts and opinions of that one issue, I give a review, seeing if it can convince me within that one issue to continue with the series or not, and hopefully recommend something to you that might not be on your radar. So with all that being said, we're going to be talking about Acceptable Losses. This is published by Queer Comix, retails for $1.99. It's written by Joe Glass. Artwork is done by Danny Flores. Colorist is Moose Bowman, and lettering is done by Mike Stock. The breakdown is as follows: a disastrous final mission sees the loss of Americans' only superhuman soldier in the blaze that kills innocents too. Over a year later, the greedy senator responsible to the terrible choice finds himself victim of a horrific attack on U.S. soil as the never-ending cycle of violence continues. But just who is responsible for this violence? And basically, in this this comic, we're exposed to a Captain America-like character. This is very much in the vein of some other more adult comics that we get, where it's definitely, like I always make the reference to some of these books with is the HBO done through the HBO lens. So it's like Soprano style, more adult style. This is not for like the young ones. This is 13 plus type of visuals and subject matter that we're getting, maybe even 16 plus borderline type storytelling that we're getting. This is definitely an adult book for adults. This is my first time reading anything from Joe Glass, and I have to say I really enjoyed. This is not necessarily a first issue of an ongoing series. It was more like a one shot, so it's more than your standard 22-page issue. I just happened to see it, and I saw it on Comixology. The visuals of the cover just spoke to me. This jumped out at me, and I said, shoot, for $1.99, I'll just grab it, and I just gave it a try. I think I posted on it on the Facebook group a little bit ago, and I just, again, I tend to try to venture out more so than your standard comic book fare, and this is what I did with this, and that's the whole reason why I do the first read series. Is just, sometimes just like when you're in a comic book store, you'll see certain covers that jump out at you, and you snatch them up and you check them out. It's the same thing for me digitally. I only buy my comics digitally at this point, so I go through Comixology, or if I'm going through some of the other digital services like the Hoopla Digital, I'll check out a book based on, again, a cover, or for certain things. I'll just take a chance for certain books and give them a try. And I have to say, like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I definitely feel like Glass, he did a great job at world building, and had made some great points on the current state of the world, politics, and diversity, all without being too preachy at all. Now, I know when I posted on the Facebook group about it, we had an open conversation. Some people had checked out some of his other work and said he's very, heavy-handed with diversity and things like that. It does touch on points of, sexuality and bisexualism, or, being, gay, queer comics. There's so many connotations, even by the name of the publisher. I didn't personally look at any of that in my decision of picking up the comics. I'm a heterosexual male married to a beautiful woman. I don't judge anyone. I have people in my family that are bisexual, that are gay. I don't view anything through any lens, and I have no preconceived notions about anything, and I don't choose to. I'm a black man in America. I've dealt with discrimination, racism, and everything else. So it would be asinine, if anything else, for me to levy any type of prejudice against any other type of group, creed, color, religion, just based on what my plight is and have been for 45 years in this world and the things that I've had to deal with and see and been subjected to. So I felt from my perspective, and that's all I can base it on, that any of these points that he touched on didn't come off preachy at all. And I've read and seen so many things that can be so heavy handed that it like tumbles you over, just, smacks you to death with it. I didn't feel like that was done here at all. I really enjoyed Danny Flores' artwork. It was amazing throughout this book. I've never seen his artwork before, and I hope he gets more exposure in the future. That's why it's cool to check out books like this, because you can be exposed to different writers, artists. There's different talent that maybe one day we'll see blow up on a bigger stage. That's my hopes anyway. This book made me realize that we need to be more open and give a chance to more independent comic books, which I'm hoping to do more features of here in the future. Or if you out there, you picking up different independent books that you think that I might like, or you want the bigger the Savant Society to check out, email me. You can always email me at comicbooksavant at gmail.com, or if you're on Facebook and you're part of the Facebook group or anything like that, you can always Facebook message the Comic Book Savant page and say, hey, here's a suggestion for a book, and just let me know. Hopefully if it's digital, so I can actually buy the book and read it so I can review it. Or if you want to do a short review, if you do an audio review, send it to me. I will, put it out as an episode, or, and I'll put commentary in front or behind it and release it as an episode. I want you guys to be a part of the movement of what we're creating. So if it's some independent books that you're enjoying, that you want to make the bigger society, the comic book society, and this community we have be aware of and me aware of, let me know. Just hit me up, and I'm always open to incorporate your input into the show. So don't feel like you can't. Please feel like you can. I need you to do that. I want it to be a cooperative experience. I would say I recommend this book to anyone that likes the movies like The Bourne Ultimatum, Captain America Winter Soldier, Mission Impossible, etc. It falls right into that kind of wheelhouse. So if you like those spy thrillers, kind of genre and vibe, it is it's just going to be comfort food for you. I think the only bad thing about the book is that it's only a one shot. I literally like this book so much. I Googled Joe Glass. I was able to email him and try to find out more about the book and the series. And he was like, unfortunately at this time, he has no plans to currently return to it, but he's open to it as a later date if things open up. Now, this was some time ago before I took my break and everything. So this was like, I guess, midsummer, because that's how long ago I planned to do this episode. But he said he was open to do it, do more. And the only thing I could say to encourage him is, if you do get this book, read it based on this recommendation that I make, send him an email at joeglasscomics@gmail.com and let him know that you enjoyed the book, and, tell him that you heard about it through this show. I'm going to email him to let him know when this episode, is released, because I promised him that I would do that, because I enjoyed the book that much, and I want to help him in any way, possible to see more of the series. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It was something so different and off the beaten path for me from what I normally read. So I was like, whatever I can do to help. I want to see more of this book myself personally. Selfishly, I want more of it because it was really good. For me, I gave it an 8.75 out of 10, which classifies on my scale as a good read. Again, I think my mission going forward for this year, one of my initiatives I want to state now, that I want to start even reading more independent books and starting to push these lesser known titles as much as these bigger titles out there to help grow awareness. And they need our help more than ever now, just with the state of things now. and just the oversaturation of the market of the big two. I think it's so many good books on Image, Valiant, Devil's Due, just across the board. Boom Studios. We've seen, and I've tried to talk about more and more of these, different books and different titles, and I just think I need to push that even more. So in this year, so I'm gonna do so, and hopefully with your help, you guys will give me some other suggestions as well. So definitely feel free to drop them down, in the comments, email, Facebook, wherever you want to reach me, you can reach me. Also, if you go to the website, if you go to comicbooksavant.com, it is a message. You can message me straight from the website as well, and send me any suggestions you might have. Also, you can hit me up on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Comic Book Savant. Also, it's the Facebook page, facebook.com/Comic Book Savant. If you're not a part of the Facebook group and you want to join the Facebook group, if you go to any of the pages that I listed, far as the Facebook page or the main website, it'll be a link to the Facebook group there. You answer a couple of questions, we'll approve it, and you can come right into the group. If you want to help support the show, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Comic Book Savant. Or if you go to the website, I have a link to our merchandise store where you can get t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, the whole shebang. I got to work on some more merch with some new designs coming up soon. Again, I'm just getting back in the swing of creating this, getting some content for you guys. But it's going to be more designs coming for sure. But it's definitely some cool stuff up there now. If you haven't already seen it, definitely check it out. But that's all I have for you guys for this episode. Like I said, I think this is a solid book. Check it out. You can find it on Comixology. I don't know, far as physical copies, if you can find them in a comic book store at this point, because this book was released a little while ago. Like I said, unfortunately, because of me stepping away for a while, this episode was meant to come out months ago. But you definitely can find it digitally, because, like I said, I picked it up through Comixology for just $1.99. Definitely well worth that price tag for sure. But that's all I have for you guys for this episode. As always, you guys stay safe. Love you so much for your continued support. Until next time, you guys take care and stay safe. Bye.